Richard, you off air, you showed me something that I don't know how to take. By the way, good day.
Good morning, good day, good morning.
We were talking about the real ID, and I've got to go get mine because I don't want to carry my passport everywhere. And you pulled out your briefcase, your bag, your travel bag. What do you carry in your travel bag all the time as you drink your coconut water or whatever you got
Everything,
there?
everything,
But one
everything.
object. There's one object. A
There it is.
baby.
It's a baby shoe.
Why? Just one. Just one left
Just
baby
one
shoe.
baby shoe. That's it.
Why
One
is that?
baby shoe. You know, because probably I'm a little nuts.
Well,
Um, that is my baby shoe.
my gosh.
I guess when I was born 30 years ago.
35 now.
35 is the down payment on the next 30.
Is it like good luck? Is
right from my mother.
Is it like a good luck charm? Is it a reminder, keepsake?
My mom had it, and she treasured it. I didn't treasure it. She did. But I took it and have had it with me everywhere I go forever. And I keep it. Good luck.
Do you know where the right baby shoe is?
No, I don't. But maybe, I have this.
Maybe you were born with just one foot and the other one grew later.
Oh, I'm not touching that.
Well, I don't know. That's interesting, though. Now, what size? Does it have a size on it?
No.
I don't know. What's it made of? Is it leather?
It is. It is. Obviously, maybe I get some white shoe polish.
No. That's fascinating to me. I don't have any like keepsake or good luck charm or anything like that.
So, Colin, let me ask you a question. What did you think? What was the first thought you had when I told you what I carry and showed it to you? What did you think?
That you are somebody who likes to. You are somebody that regales yourself on memories of your mom or your parents and when you were little and carries something to denote that.
That's good. I'd say that's probably accurate.
And when you see that, it takes you back to a time and forces good memories.
Always takes you back. Always keeps you grounded.
Yeah. And it's one of those, don't ever forget where I came from.
Don't ever forget where I came from. That's absolutely correct. Now, I may have some detractors that would disagree with that, but they're sitting in my office with me, actually. But other than that, no, that's exactly the feeling of it. And so that propels us into so many other conversations.
Yeah, what's on your mind? What's going on?
Everything. I got Steelers. I've got you. I've got some of your things from your other show. I mean, you have some great content. You really do. And I could get caught just talking about all those things that you talk about. But you seem pretty passionate about a lot of those things and about our government, our local government, and the people that are in charge of us. So you have a lot going on. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, we got a lot to talk about.
I'm just actually passionate about building a future for my kids that involves having the best possible people in place and the least amount of impediments to success. Right. And I think that that's just a lawful society and one where the most people have a chance of achieving well. Like it's that simple for me.
How much of it is measurable? How much of it is opinion? How much of it is really measurable? Are there people with different opinions that actually see this administration as doing good things? I don't see that. I haven't seen it. And I'm nervous about it, same as you.
The whole basis for me starts with respect for law and order. Yeah. And like you have to have that at the local level.
Yeah.
And then it goes from there. And if you don't have that basis, then you don't have anything. And anybody that doesn't have that or doesn't have that respect for police or doesn't have that respect for a lawful society, then I just can't even build from that at all. It's just done for me at that point.
I agree. I do. I agree with that. Do you have and I probably shouldn't even ask you this because
no,
but do you have an opinion on the mayoral race?
Not really. I don't think that either candidate is too far from each other. I think they're pretty much the same candidate for the most part in terms of Gainey and O'Connor. And I'll say this. I heard Tom Murphy talk to Andy Sheehan yesterday, and he said that it doesn't matter who it is. We need to get business to want to come to Pittsburgh, and cities like Lexington, Kentucky, cities like Cleveland, cities like Cincinnati, cities like Columbus keep having business come in, and we see a drop, and we've seen another drop in population. And those are the easiest barometers as to how things need to change.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. You know, and I'm certainly not endorsing either, but I do remember Corey's father, and I thought he was a pretty good guy. But I don't really know. I see it scares me that everything is leaving the city, not coming to the city.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. That's a great report card.
Yeah.
So then, what about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Are they leaving?
Well, no, they're not leaving. It's combine time, which is interesting to me. I've been watching a little bit of the interviews and things like that. I don't know. I think they're doing as good a job as they can right now. I think this is a draft that they absolutely have to hit home runs, like 4 of them, and 4 guys that actually pretty much walk in and play.
Yeah.
They're in trouble.
I'll be honest with you. I saw Omar, came out and started to talk a little bit to the media. And again, I'll just say he's really a good guy. And I think he knows exactly what needs done. I just don't know how you do it. And the good news is I'm not the one making those decisions. He is. Clearly we didn't score points. We need to score points. So
they got to hit on draft picks. And this is crazy because I'm kind of going back on what I said but you're almost painted into a corner where you have to give George Pickens another chance and have to hope that he performs gigantically.
Well, I think there's 2 parts to George Pickens. First of all, if you give him a chance, he's going to perform gigantically because
hopefully
that's what he does. But you got to get him the ball. Okay. So in order for him to do that, you got to get him the ball. So then that backs it up. You got to have a quarterback that can work with George. Personally, I think George, if he were to be honest, I think George seems to prefer Fields. I think they had good chemistry. Russell can throw the ball, and like Mike Tomlin said, he can drop it in your front pocket. I mean, that's accurate too. However, something is not accurate because it didn't work.
Right.
So so you have those 2 quarterbacks. I love Sam Darnold personally, and I think we should have drafted him 7 years ago. But I always thought that he was a logical replacement for Big Ben because he was big. Also, he's pretty much followed the same model as Ben did: the rocket arm, physical, and I thought he was a good fit. He's been stymied for the last 6 years. Last year he had a breakout year. I don't think he's a $25 million quarterback, but I think somebody will. Somebody will think that. But anyway, I like him. I like Russell. I like Justin. I like them, but they didn't do it.
Right.
So they didn't score points. Now, where does that become if the student didn't learn, the teacher didn't teach? Where does that become a teacher problem, not a student problem?
Well, it is a teacher problem, and it's also a Mike Tomlin hiring the wrong guy problem. I mean, it keeps happening with the offensive coordinator, I think.
But has there ever been an offensive coordinator? And I know you'll say Todd Haley, and I don't think Todd Haley at the time was welcomed either. I think that nobody.
No, that was more off the field and personality wise. But if you look at his numbers, they're the best in recent history.
But nobody really revered him. Nobody thought that he was the greatest at the time until he left. And,
right, because you see the alternative.
You had Bruce, and you had Bruce, right? And everybody thought that he was terrible too at the time.
But here's the thing with Todd Haley. I don't pine for the days of Todd Haley because Todd Haley also made his own bed. He made himself tough to work with.
Literally.
Right. Yeah. So it is what it is. But I don't know. The Steelers, they need to hit on. You see so many teams around the NFL draft. They plug and play. They have young players doing great stuff like rookies, and that has to happen.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, that it would be wonderful if it happened. I don't know if it has to happen. We just have to score points. I mean, that's it. We have to score points. 16 points a game isn't going to win anything in the NFL. It's just
No.
not. Unless you have a defense that's going to keep the other teams at 3 points a game. But we don't have that either, because then you come back to the defense, and Cam Hayward can't do it all. He can't do it by himself. He just can't.
No, neither can Watt. And
neither can TJ. They just can't. They need strong support, and they need it in the secondary.
Yeah, and both of those guys are just getting so much older. At some point, this is going to be the shocking thing, and I think this is the main point of today. At some point, one or both of those guys, Hayward first, is going to come out and say, my body's shot, I can't do it anymore. And we're going to almost be like shocked as a city, but we shouldn't be. It should be the inverse.
He'll never say that, though.
Well, maybe Mother Nature's going to say it to him, or Father Time. The thing that's going to happen, though, is we should actually say, I can't believe he played at that level for that long. You
have to believe 100% that, I mean, Omar and Mike are both smart enough to know that. They already know that.
But we've tricked ourselves into thinking those guys, especially Hayward, are going to play forever. I can't even imagine the rigors.
I don't think we've tricked ourselves into that at all. I don't. I mean, I think you'll see in the draft that we don't trick ourselves into that. I think you'll see. I mean, these guys know what they're doing. But the culture says slow walk it. Don't do anything drastic. But I'd contradict myself by saying last year they were really active, more than they've ever been in free agency and in the draft. And so they broke out of the mold already last year. Now, did they bet wrong? I don't know. I don't like hearing that the offensive coordinator and the quarterback were at odds. I don't like hearing that Russell Wilson can't change a play. I mean, you hired him because he was a veteran with veteran experience in the Super Bowl. And so if you don't honor that, don't allow him to be who he is. It's almost like, your son is a racing fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you tell your son, I'm going to get you this race car, and I want you to win the race. And then you put him in the passenger seat. He can't win the race in the passenger seat, right?
Nope.
He's got to be in that driver's seat. And if he's not in that driver's seat, how do you hold him accountable for it?
No, I'm with you. So
I'm on a roll. I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
I love Omar. I was reading about, this morning. Believe it or not, I still read the freaking Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
On hard copy?
Yeah, online.
Oh, online. Okay. Yeah, so do I, every day.
Yeah, and I do too. And it's wonderful. First of all, they have a great digital online presence. So it makes it just like it's a real paper. But I still read it. It's still such a politically based paper. But, you keep that in mind, and you still get your local news. But, so I was reading about Omar and Mike today. It's going to be an interesting time at the Combine, and I'm going to be very curious. And if I remember correctly, the Combine was where Mike and Justin Fields really started to connect way back when. When was he drafted? 4 years ago?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
4 years ago. And I can remember the conversations with Mike and Justin and the videos and how much Mike really liked them. So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Justin. I really wouldn't.
I think it's the way you have to go at this point. He knows the system. You don't have to teach somebody a new system.
But what if they keep neither? Because neither are signed. So what if somebody comes in with an offer for Justin? Because Justin's young and he can play.
Well, then you entertain it, I think. But I don't think that they're willing to do something like that with the quarterback position 2 years in a row. I don't think they want to have a third year in a row with a third different starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Essentially, fourth year in a row.
Why? What's the fourth year?
Ben, Pickett, four quarterbacks in 5 years.
At some point in life, and I think I said this last time, I really want to understand the thinking on Kenny Pickett, because I don't.
I'll never understand it, even if they tell it to me. Even if they tell me, I'll never understand it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't. it's just unlike them to pull the plug so fast on somebody like that after such a number 20 draft, overall draft. I mean, I don't understand it unless I don't know. There is no unless. I just don't get it.
No, me either. Now he won a Super Bowl, which is, one thing about Kenny Pickett that it hasn't bothered me, but I think it's misguided is I don't understand like either the love or the hate for him on either side. Like people telling me I have to be happy for him or people telling me I have to hate him. He was just a player who didn't work out here and then he went to another team. It's just in the middle for me. There's not I hate these, or I can't stand these fans that scold one another about how you have to feel about a former player. He's just a guy who used to play. Now, if you're a Pitt fan, I think you absolutely have to admire the guy for the heights that he lifted that program to.
I will never, ever, 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 ever in any amount of years forgive the fact that Kenny Pickett chose to sit out the bowl game in favor of his own career. That really bothers me. I'll never get that.
Even as that is like the common move for many people.
I'll never, ever, ever get that. I don't know about Ohio State. I don't care about any of those. I care about the University of Pittsburgh, and I care about Kenny Pickett, and I care that happened. I don't agree with it. I think it was a horrible, horrible decision, and it was a very self-centered choice. I don't like it. You'll never make me understand that.
No, I get it.
Aside from that, though, I mean, the kid has talent. I mean,
right.
There's no question he has talent. And I remember the preseason. We were all jazzed about the preseason. I mean, I can picture him scrambling, throwing off the wrong foot in the end zone, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. I was jazzed. I was like, okay, this works. And then all of a sudden came, but then the season we judge him on and tell everybody that it was terrible is no worse than what we just did.
No, you're right about that. They traded they flip this whole script and then don't improve. And if that happens, if you rock the boat and don't improve, then there needs to be some serious introspection that has to happen.
Well, I mean, and you can talk yourself into or out of anything, and I can too, except the results are the results. The data is the data. And, the one-loss record, you can say, well, first-year offensive coordinator. We need to get used to it. No, the season goes on every year. Who was the biggest turnaround team in the NFL this year? I mean, who was it? They didn't wait, right? You had Washington.
Right. Because they trusted their quarterback and they trusted their
person. Right. One person, one coach, right? That's it. That made a difference. They were the biggest turnaround team. So it is possible, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm done ranting.
All righty. Next week it is. We'll have plenty to talk about.
Well, we're going to have a lot to talk about. And I'm going to bring my baby shoe.
Try to find the other one.
If I find it, that's going to be a problem.
Perfect.
Okay.
Talk to you.